Welcome to Creating Miah. I am your host, Chris Spangle, and here, as always, obviously, is Miah Axton. Miah, how are you doing?
Good.
This is theoretically the final episode of Creating Miah.
It's the last one I have planned at the moment.
Right. Well, all right, so the first question is, why is this the last episode of Creating Miah that you're planning on doing?
I haven't given it the attention I should have, and there's a number of reasons why, but it's just I think I can move on and do other things, and this has served its purpose. I was hoping to maybe be able to build a community of people, but between me not trying hard enough and, well, me not trying hard enough, it didn't happen. So
Did you just hold back?
Yes.
No, that's not what we do here. If I'm posting episode 63, you're going to say what you just thought.
I guess the lack of competent people I've come across. So, no offense to anyone in particular, but...
Well, you typically have taken heat from the trans community for your non-socialist views.
Yes, that's definitely been a contributing factor to why I'm not well liked in the trans community, or have anybody willing to want to jump on this project with me. So I'm gonna basically move it into something else, and we've talked on other shows and platforms about starting a different kind of show, and so I think I can still reach out to the fans of this show on that one whenever that happens, but.
Yeah, if you're listening to this feed and you're hearing this, you need to go to theuncontrollables.com and subscribe, or go to iTunes, even the Zune Marketplace, and look for The Uncontrollables, and that's Maya's weekly show. Promote yourself. Go ahead. What do you do on The Uncontrollables?
It's a political show. Give you my rundown of politics and social commentary on the events of the day and time, and it's a live show, so I'd give the time, but that's subject to change at a very, very recent or soon time.
But nonetheless, go to Maya's Facebook page, like her on Facebook. You'll get a kick out of it.
Promises to be entertaining at least.
Be warned. Okay, so let's jump right into the question. So the reason we're recording tonight is...
Tomorrow, the 23rd of October, is my 1-year anniversary for starting my transition, meaning which I've been on hormones for 1 year now.
Right. So you came out approximately. You made
March 16th or 18th, okay. 2012.
So you then got hormones a year from tomorrow.
Yep.
So Lorelei Bailey asks, we've solicited questions. So our good friend Lorelei asks, how do you feel?
Well, I mean, in the context of this 1 year, I feel a million times better than I did a year ago. I mean, starting out, holy crap, that was a step. Even after doing kind of hormones of my own there, but making it all official and doing it that route was definitely a huge thing. And right now, I feel good. I mean, I feel much happier than I ever have been. So. Yeah.
Michelle writes, was it hard? Is it still hard? Yikes. I mean, was it a hard thing to do? So was it a hard thing to do?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'd say it's probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done, and it still is one of the most challenging things I've ever done.
Meaning physically, mentally, emotionally?
Everything.
Everything.
It's basically killing off an entire person that you've been for most of your life and becoming the person you should have been, but haven't been, but are gonna be.
Well, the other day I had a problem with my phone and I had to re-download my contacts, and I got a call from Jeremiah Hodgkin, and I just stared at my phone for like 30 seconds, and I was like, who is that? Like, I mentally did not process who that even was anymore. And I promptly, under the threat of violence, changed it to Miah Axton.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, Andrea writes, are you where you imagined that you would be after a year? Do you feel you are where you need to be?
going into it, I tried my best not to envision the future all that much. Not to really get a set amount of expectations and think that I'm going to be one place or another. And I know with the transition that a lot of outside factors are going to affect it, and I didn't want to necessarily, be disappointed or not as happy as I could be. I've just been like with the first thing ever, I've just kind of gone with the flow and seen where it's taken me. And I think I'm a lot further than I imagined I ever could be. Um, and as far as need to be, yeah, I think I'm on the right path. I'm pleased with where I'm going with this.
Let me ask, where, if you were sitting here a year ago, I mean, where, give some context to, if you could, the Miah of today, go back to the Miah of a year ago, how much further down the line? I mean, what are some of the things that you might say to Miah a year ago?
Oh wow. Well, uh, don't get fired. Because you're gonna want that money to buy clothes that you can't afford.
Right.
No, I mean honestly, I don't think I could have really done anything different than how I have. I mean, the ups and downs and everything else have been needed, warranted, and accepted. I mean, I don't like to live a life of regrets, but no, I wouldn't really. As far as within just the context of transition, I wouldn't say a goddamn thing. I'd say have fun.
Yeah. Are you looking back and saying that, gee, I wish I were further along in certain things like boobs, or or do you really just try to take it one day at a time?
It's one day at a time. It's a long process. There's no way to really rush this along. The boob thing, well, that's particular to my case. Um, I really want boobs.
I want that for you too.
Sure you do.
Steven asks if you're happy. You said you're happier than you've ever been, but can you give some context to that happiness? Why are you the happiest you've ever been?
Living day to day, hating yourself, hating everything about yourself, and just would rather perish, but you don't really kill yourself because it's what pansies do. So you're not going to do that. So, going from that to a year, over a year now of consistency, and there's been some ups and downs and emotional bits, but consistently waking up every day okay with who you see in the mirror as a person. Maybe not looks. I mean, I'm one ugly bastard, but
Please,
with the
bitch,
overall
bitch.
with the overall person that I am now, it's just that's what's important to me is that I can be happy with myself, and the consistency is nice.
Chrissy writes, after going through such a difficult process, what is the one thing you really wish someone would have told you? What would you explain to someone starting the process? And I'm going to expand that to say, you did a lot of research. You did a lot of, you're a very thoughtful person who likes to research a lot of things. So what do you wish someone would have told you, or what was the thing that you read and learned that has been the most true?
I mean, I don't know what kind of advice I could have been given back then that would have really helped me, even considering what I've seen other people give as advice now. Um, as far as starting out though, and advice for other people is watch everybody's story. Not everybody's the same, and every story is going to be unique. You can't expect your transition to ever look like anybody else's, ever. Coming out, anything that's ever discussed within the trans community is ever going to be the same for two people. It's just the whole scenario is not going to be. But going to a therapist was the best decision I ever made. I'm very thankful that one of my trans friends, way back when, talked me into doing it. So, that's the biggest recommendation I have is that removed third party person, like a therapist to talk to, was the most beneficial part of going into transition. And then for all those people that say that they're too ugly and they'll never make a pretty girl, well, you're all full of shit. Um, it's I'm an exception to the rule, but 99.9 to the infinity do just fine and come out the other side looking exactly how they want to.
Yeah. Bill writes, and this is sort of, an
You
awkward.
skipped Harry.
Oh, did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Our good buddy Harry writes, "What's next?" That's sort of a broad, general thing, but like,
It's a long process. I mean, the hormone's going to continue going. Basically, what's next is just kind of still it's a constant process of discovering growth and everything else, and it's not something that transition doesn't really ever end. It kind of goes from a kind of a gender transition to a life transition. I think once you reach the point where you come out and you're open and everything else, you just never stop growing. I think people that say they're done with their transition or they're complete with it, I think are giving up. That they're stopping. They're not continuing to grow as a person anymore, or help others grow and everything else. So I don't. What's next? Everything's next. I mean, the most important thing on that list is boobs, but then next on the list would be nose, because I'd like to be able to breathe out of my nose again and have it smaller at the same time. So why not?
boobs notwithstanding, and I always stand for boobs.
Yes.
But let's talk about mental and physical and emotional. But so physically, do you have an idea of, is there an end goal, or do you have, other than those two things that you just mentioned, like, is there an ideal physical, I don't want to say thing, but do you have a vision of where you want to end up if there is like an ending point, if that makes sense? Like,
I mean, I would be 100% completely satisfied to do no surgeries, other than one. We'll get that in a second. I mean, I'd be content just being just who I am based off hormones, to a degree.
and one thing that this podcast has taught me is that like, you don't need the surgery. It's just sort of exactly like who sits there and goes, like me, for instance, looks in the mirror and goes, you know what, I really need surgery. Not many people do that. They just sort of end up where they end up.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different for somebody that went through the wrong puberty. And
Well, that's a good point.
the reason that breast implants is so big on my list is not just because I have an obscene obsession with boobs, is because I have a really large frame, and as far as it bugs me, as far as like the shape of my silhouette, that's why that's important, and that's the same thing with the nose. Is I just use an excuse because, well, my nose is freaking huge, and if I'm anything like the rest of my family, on male and female, my nose is going to continue to get bigger, and that's not something I look forward to. But so I mean, there's if I ever had the money, depending on how much we save before we move to Thailand, I plan on getting lots and lots of surgery, just because I'm vain. And Emily deserves a hot piece of ass.
Now, what about emotionally? Like, emotionally and mentally, let's kind of wrap those two together. I mean, is there, do you set certain things out and you go, okay, I need to work on this, I need to change this. This is something about my maleness that I need to transition to femaleness, or in general, just basic principles of life that you go, I don't like this behavior, I want to change that. What are some things that you're trying to progress towards as far as emotional and mental goes?
I've never been very good at setting personal goals and then completing them. Like just pointing something out, going, "Oh, I'm going to change that." No, that my subconscious is like, that's bullshit. You need to do something else, and then after time, if I listen to it, it just changes. I haven't really put a whole lot of thought into as far as emotions and the mental aspect. I've just kind of let things fall as they may, and just kind of what's comfortable, what's not comfortable. I mean, I guess I'm just kind of walking through a dark house, bumping into walls, figuring out where I'm trying to go. I don't want to really put a lot of thought into it because I'm over questioning, and I direct it to maybe not the most natural, healthy place. So I just kind of let the chips fall where they do, and it seemed to work out really well so far.
Bill writes, how do I offer congrats? Happy conversion? Well, that sounds like a religious conversion. Happy transition? Happy transition? Throw me a frickin' bone here. And Chrissy follows up, maybe we need a Hallmark card, a line of cards. So how will you in the future define this date?
Oh, I don't know. My first birthday? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like any other date. With anything else somebody starts, I've been on say hypothetically, you've been on a diet for a year. I haven't smoked for a year, or I haven't done hardcore illicit drugs for a year, or whatever. Not comparing all those things are the exact same. I'm just saying dates to be celebrated. Yeah, I don't know how you say. I just say, I guess, congrats. I mean, I don't know, transition, may get you punched, or some hate mail. Bill, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that to anybody else. I'm okay with it, but it's like I tell people, you can call me a tranny. I think it's hilarious. But most people are probably gonna get very offended, and you might have a sexual harassment lawsuit coming. So yeah, no, and Hallmark, stay away from this. Stay far, far away from this. You would screw it up so bad.
Karen writes, I would like to know what differences you've noticed in yourself, what differences you've gotten so used to that you just stopped noticing them.
Shit.
It's your shit? That's weird.
No, that's
Okay, what notices have you changed that you just kind of, like at the beginning you were like, holy shit, and now you're going, I don't even think about that anymore.
wearing makeup every day. Not necessarily every day. I mean, for the last 11 months, I've had a job. Well, one before that, but kind of a job that getting sweaty is a prerequisite. So I don't really wear a lot of makeup. That's also why I got permanent makeup. But having that on my face, or the permanent makeup's been something I haven't really paid attention to anymore until Jax does it, and I look beautiful, and I just cry inside. But my skin, I can't even remember what my skin used to feel like. I know it doesn't feel like it ever used to. There's no way in hell. And from what some other people have said, and it's the sensitivity. I still haven't got used to it, but I can't, even after a year, I can't really remember like what it was like for like Emily to run her fingers down my arm or something. That it is so different. That it's kind of hard to picture. I'm back used to having long hair already again. And eating it. That's always fun. When you get long hair and I don't put mine back, and so like if I move or something, or like the wind blows, I'm eating my hair.
Oh, okay. It's like not intentional. It's like, are you gonna be on like a TLC show or something?
No, no. And I've had long hair before, but not pink hair. Pink hair is something. Surprisingly, the idea of having colored hair.
Always race with you.
Yeah, well, you know what?
And let me talk about your colored hair there for a minute, because we share headphones, you and I.
Yeah.
And after I take off my headphones, so we did a podcast one day, and I think it was in like a morning, and then I took off my headphones. I was going about my day, had a black shirt on, and my wife was like, "What is this hair on you? Is this blonde?" It's pink. What is going on here? So it's funny. There are pink strands of hair all over my house.
Yeah.
And you really can't like pin that on the cat.
I can't pin on anybody else. I mean,
Yeah.
who else has pink hair? So that's been interesting. I guess my being kind of emotional. I never let anybody see it, but that's my thing. But it's being a lot more in touch with my emotions, I guess, is kind of new. And that's not necessarily, I know everybody likes to say that, and it's goddamn annoying, but it's not necessarily because of the hormones. They can heighten things, but it's allowing yourself to experience the emotions is what really gets a lot of trans people, is that you're for the first time allowing yourself to be emotional.
Well-
And so they just all kind of pour out in randomly large bouts.
There was a episode of Emily and I laughed about this a couple weeks ago. It was The Big Bang Theory, and Howard was rubbing estrogen on his mom, and he became emotional. And he was acting femme for the show, for comedy, and his wife was like, "I know you're emotional, but I've had 20 years of riding the dragon." I mean, as far as like the emotional, like the emotional side of it, like, have you noticed a difference in your emotional state, like as far as the hormones or
If anything, the hormones have calmed me down.
really?
A lot.
Really?
You can keep saying really, and I might just punch you in the fucking goddamn throat.
No, but that is true. Like I think back to June of last year and now, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of things that factor into it. So when people make those jokes about it's the hormones or whatever, and, half the problem with women and their hormones is not the hormones that they have flowing in them. It's the ebb and flow of the hormones when they have their period, and it goes up and down, and it's the non-consistency part. Which can be managed with proper diet and vitamin use, and regular exercise can really help with that. But
Kyla writes, "Are you going to try and fem your voice?"
you skipped a lot.
Did I?
No, you didn't really. You skipped stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Fem my voice. I've done a little bit, not much.
But isn't that kind of, I don't want to say faking it, but is like if you're not worried too much about an end goal necessarily, like you just want to kind of be you the way you want to be you.
Oh no, I definitely want to do something with my voice. That's guaranteed. I used to have a really
Well, let's go back and listen. I pulled up actually the first episode of Creating Miah.
Really?
And we'll see if this works out. If it doesn't, then you can edit in something later and just keep the analysis. But let's go back and listen to the first episode of Creating Miah. And I don't have a date on this, but it would have been sometime. Oh, this was 12/21/12. So this is December of last year. So here we go.
Movies where there's some crazy tranny hooker.
Oh, God.
They're mentally deranged people. They look like a guy in a dress, and that's
So basically, we've nailed you for 3 for 3.
hey, I look good in her dress.
It's okay to laugh, Emily. We'll get to you later.
No, it's the trans community is it's very diverse. It's more diverse than I think any other one group of people, because it's anybody can be trans, no matter what. You can be.
All right, so even though that's through an iPhone speaker, you can hear some depth to the voice. You can hear some of the lower tones.
There's a little bit more. I have so many weird little quirks with how I say things and how I do things. I'm kind of afraid of losing how I speak. And my weird little accent that you say I have.
You
That
do.
actually not just you say I have, other people picked up on it. I don't really. It's not a huge concern. I would love to go to a voice coach. That's really what I went. I mean, I don't want to really do it myself, but how I talk has changed a little bit. I never get mammed on the phone ever. That sucks, but I really don't give a shit. That happens to regular women too, and some guys get called ma'am on the phone. So you just never know.
I don't know that you've made a conscious effort to switch your voice, but I do think, if you listen back to that audio, there is a definite change in the tone of voice. And I think that if I were on the phone with you, I don't think that I would go. I think I would. You've moved from all right, that's a guy to I'm not sure, which I guess is a step in the right direction, right?
Yeah, that's good enough. And then somebody had posted a comment about, it's my radio voice. I have a voice made for broadcasting, and
Get it? Broadcasting is what Michael said. Michael is a character. Maybe literally.
But I don't know. Maybe one day.
Kyla also writes, hypothetically speaking, if you could redo everything dating back to when you first felt like a woman, would you?
Oh, hell yes.
Can you clarify that a little bit? What does that mean?
I'd be 6 years old. and I'd be telling my father and stepmother that I don't want to be a little boy. I want to be a little girl, and let's go take me to a therapist. And then when I hit like 13 years old, 12 years old, I can start puberty blockers, and I could, not go through fucking goddamn male puberty. So yes, I mean, if I could go back in time, oh hell yeah, I would definitely go back to like 5, 6 years old when I knew shit was weird.
Kylo asks, if an evil person comes into power over the USA or even the world and declares that all LGBTQ, etc., to be evil and forces them into camps and puts them to death, would you A, fight in a battle knowing you are overpowered and most likely going to die, or B, run off to a part of the world and hide, alive and happy, I may add?
Oh, I would be no more alive and happy than on the battlefield fighting for a just cause against a great evil. I'm pretty sure I have some very strong Viking blood in me, and I think I'd be most alive and happy on a battlefield. So I would definitely do the A, and I would win because, well, fuck you.
Let's break this into two parts. So first, do you miss the concept of being a man, doing manly type things?
No, not really, because I still do all that shit.
I got a flat tire today, and I was half joking when I said, "Hey, Miah, come change my tire."
And I would have too. I don't. That has nothing to do with transition. It's my love of chainsaws and hard work and welding and cars and just being an asshole to people. I've enjoyed those things, and it's not just because they're associated with the male sex. It's just because I'm fucking good at them, and I like doing it. No, I mean, talents and skills and hobbies I've had haven't really changed. So yeah, no, I don't really miss doing manly type things. I actually enjoy having to care about my appearance a little bit more. Yeah, so no.
Yeah, you get to just be you, be the best of all worlds. Do you see yourself ever wanting to untransition and be a man again?
Honestly, no. It's sometimes we get those really nasty thoughts when we're depressed, and it's like self-destructive thinking and everything else. And sometimes when shit's hard and it has to do with something trans, or maybe I'm just really fucking pissed off and depressed that day. Sometimes like, I just give up and I'll go back to doing that. I don't want to fight anymore. I'm going to give up, but it's always a fleeting thought because it's like, fuck no. No. So I don't think that would ever happen. I'm saying I don't believe it's a possibility. It's not something that like, I'd have to give up on life to do that.
Have people been generally tolerant of your change? This is Nate, by the way. Have people been generally tolerant of your change, or has it caused you notable social hardship?
Shit. Actually, I think that being trans has actually helped me in social situations. Because I'm naturally awkward and I'm a social terrorist. I'm fucking weird and I don't understand social norms. I don't understand social interactions real well. I mean, I understand them. Completing the tasks that need to be done in social interactions is the difficult part for me. Since being trans, I've felt a much more friendly presence in the world. I think that might be because I believe in the whole you get back what you give out. And I think I give it a little bit more of a positive vibe, so that's what I get back.
Well, yeah, you're way happier. You're fun to be around. There are times where things get a little heated, but for the most part, you're happy. You're the type of person that laughs and jokes around, and obviously that makes it better. You're also being true to who you are, you're not worried about it. And I think people accept you. There are obviously the people that have just been jerks, but not a lot of them. Has it surprised you how few people have been really kind of nasty about it?
No one's been really kind of out there. Well, there's been very few people that have been really just outright rude about it. There's the issues with ignorance and just people that are insensitive or just completely retarded. and I give them all passes for now. But as far as people being blatantly just mean about it, it's been very few and far in between.
I would also say there's part of it, Jeremiah was the type of person that you just expected to live in a small wooden cabin and then get arrested by the FBI after 36 years, and there'll be a manifesto there, and maybe not totally understood. Miah is somebody you rally around, like people root for you now. I mean, that has to be kind of a different mindset too.
I'm very tired. If there's one way to describe this last year, beyond just awesome, would be tiring. Everything's new. It's constantly new. Everything's constantly changing. Not to mention there's been a million different changes beyond this past year. But constantly having to learn how to deal with new things. People asking you for help, for questions, relying on you for guidance and support. People supporting me. That's kind of a new thing. I'm not really still 100% sure how to deal with it. I'm never good with compliments either. I mean, people give me a compliment, and I want to walk away. It's like, it's like, oh, you look good today. Oh, okay.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Did I not look good yesterday? I mean,
Oh, wow. You have transitioned. Welcome to womanhood.
that's not actually a very nice phrase to say to people.
So my wife has a funny story. She's got donuts. Somebody brought her donuts as a I'm sorry. And she goes, "Are you trying to make me fat?"
But you're not fat now, so yes.
Yeah, I think that's sort of been kind of the cool part is people get you now. They sort of understand you better.
They try.
They try. I mean, but people support you, so that's kind of cool. Whereas before, everybody's like, "Why is Jeremiah so angry?" What's it like managing the transition while also trying to manage and grow your own small business? Should we edit this part out?
No, I just dissolved my small business. Me and my business partner came to a mutual understanding that the marketplace isn't just ready for the business just yet. We can't. It's not a sound company, and it's bleeding copious amounts of money, none of which we have any of. So we're dissolving the company.
But I don't think we've talked about your current job situation, though.
Not on here.
No, we haven't, because we haven't done a show in a while.
Oh, I guess this would be kind of a neat thing to get into. I don't.
Yeah.
Let's do the last question, and we'll talk about my new job.
Okay. Jessica writes, how does it feel having your body more in sync with your mind, your heart, and your soul?
Oh, goddamn, it's a blessing.
Did you really just say, goddamn, it's a blessing?
Yes, I did.
It's like in the last episode of Weird Libertarians when you're like, you're being really insulting, you fucking pansy. But anyway, so how does it feel to be in sync?
It feels good. I mean,
I think we kind of, the whole last 30 minutes is sort of an explanation.
yeah, it's on that point. For any for trans people, it's a little bit different of a question. That it's my outside matches my inside. That's, I mean, not perfectly. I'm kind of nitpicky on things. But it's, I don't know. It's surreal. It's really hard to put into words. It's bliss.
Good. So, I don't know how much of your job situation you want to get into.
I don't
but
care all of it.
I'll let you lead the dance here.
It was Emily telling me she's on her way home with food supplies to cook me dinner.
Food. So you started looking for a job, and you found a job at one of the coolest places in Indianapolis. Where are you working now?
Working at Paparoos.
And what are you doing?
Well, if I'm gonna be blunt, I'm gonna take over his entire business and let him retire.
Total world domination.
Yeah. No, I became friends with Paparoo.
Doing the
Just
podcast.
did a podcast, and he'd shown up to a libertarian meeting, and we just kind of talked, and we clicked, and we got along really well. He thought I was a very interesting character, and just enjoyed our conversations. And
Papa Roo, by the way, is a local Cajun restaurant. They serve po' boys, so it's a restaurant.
yeah, you need to Google it and find him on Facebook and follow him. He's been internationally famous for somehow he hired an employee once and just his good acts. And he was recently all over local news again for his dealing with the government shutdown and furloughed employees. But he came to me and he told me, if you ever need a job or a part-time job or something, because I told him my business wasn't doing well, and he started his business up by himself. Like, him and his wife started his business 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Just from nothing. They took what savings they had, and he was like, "I'm done with this," and he's like, "I want a better life for my kids," and everything else.
He's got a personality that just really it
stands out.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. He's really great at promoting everything on social media, and he appreciates individuality.
Yes, that'd be a good way to put it. He appreciates hard work, core principles, good core principles that he sees in people. He likes people that stand out for being good, not just stand out for being weird. Which that's why he confused me why he likes me. But so he offered me a job and I accepted, and he brought me on, and day one I completely took over inventory. Going from picking up the food to ordering the food to counting the inventory, and I completely rearranged on my second day. I stayed after and completely rearranged all of his inventory.
Hey, the new guy just completely changed everything in the restaurant. Or it's the new gal.
The guy's unisexual when it's used to make inferences like that. But, I completely just kind of took things over, and I've been slowly continuing to do that. I mean, he's given me a set of keys to the building and to the bus. He uses a big, short bus that's painted black with special window covers and stuff called the Roo Crew or Rolling with the Roo. So I have keys to everything now, and it's I've only been there a month. I've known this guy for 2?
I'm just saying, you have keys to the building, huh?
Yes. I'm not gonna. No.
Come on, sausage po' boy.
No.
Come on.
No. But it's been really fun because there's, I don't know, I want to say maybe 15, 16 employees there. And Paparoo, Art Bouvier, and Colleen Bouvier are really good people, and I get along with them real well. And there's no one there yet, even with the 3 brand new employees. I get along with everybody from pretty much from day. Well, for the first couple of days, I was really quiet. I was just watching people, gathering information,
stalking the prey.
Yeah. I was taking notes, keeping tabs on people. But no, I really like everybody there. It's mostly women, which is awesome. All the women there are gorgeous and wear appropriate attire to show off the gorgeousness, and I love it. I have the least colored hair there.
Yep.
There's a girl with dreadlocks. It's multicolors. She is white, so that really stands out. It's Indiana, white girl, dreadlocks, multicolored. Maybe one or two people in all of Indiana.
This is a state of 6.6 million, and she's one of 3. There's one girl in Evansville, but it was an unintentional dreadlock.
But no, bunch of really cool people, and the thing is, I'm very public. So, I'm working in a restaurant, so if I'm not in the prep kitchen, or I'm not dealing with inventory, or I'm not yelling my head off at somebody for no reason, I'm on the floor and I'm taking people's orders. I'm bringing them their food, and it's an interesting place because you put for Indiana, it's really interesting. Down south, you'd have a lot more of this. You put a card up, and a server sees it, and they'll come over and they'll take your side order because you come in the front door, you order your po' boy or your main dish, and then you go sit down, and they bring you your drinks, and then they come back later and they get your side order. And so you have unlimited free sides and some really crazy sides. This restaurant really doesn't belong in Indiana. I mean, when you look at the setting and how it's ran and everything, it's a small little quaint place, and everyone writes on the walls with Sharpies, and it's nifty. But so I'm out there taking people's orders, and it's been really fun watching to see how many people call me ma'am and how many people call me sir.
What's the ratio, would you say?
99% of them that see me say ma'am. The ones that are they have their back to me or aren't really looking at me, like they're looking at the card or looking at something else, usually say sir. Just depending, like for the first encounter. After that, they're just kind of like, oh, I feel awkward now, ma'am, ma'am. I've actually had one old guy. He had to be like 150. He was with a group of just a mixed grab bag of people from mid-20s, I'd say, all the way through, and they all look like coworkers. And somebody actually said sir, and he's like, hold on now, that's a ma'am. And I was like, that's awesome. I wanted to give him a high five, but that kind of was awkward.
Oh, that's cool.
But Popper is very big on Facebook. And he tags me in every other post, I swear to God. Or he tags me in a comment somewhere. So I'm always interacting with him on Facebook. He has 5,000 friends and like 10,000 followers.
You get on Facebook?
No.
Yeah, he's got a following of probably, I'd say 10,000. Easy.
Yeah, easy.
All concentrated here in the local area, mind you.
Yeah. And they're all loyal followers, and they follow his stuff all the time, and they always eat there. Well, the thing is that they all seem to know my name, and I don't have a clue who they are. It's really weird when somebody goes, "Hey, hi, Miah," and I'm like, "Hi." And then they interact with me there, and it's just like, this is so they're. If they've seen me on Facebook, I don't know if they follow me or if they're Facebook friends or they know anything at all about me. So it's kind of weird being in that really kind of public open scenario there. One of the fun things has been is that I open carry at work, and it's not my big 1911. I told them I wouldn't bring in some massive giant hand cannon, and it'd make it hard to move around the tables and everything. But I wear a small little gun on my back, and it's open, and I think it's nice because it just seems to fit in. It's just the whole overall thing. I don't care if I'm making very little. Well, I'm making a good enough amount of money for the work I'm putting out. But I like it. I like that I'm, for the first time since 26, first time ever I'm working at a restaurant. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, but you're also working at a job where for the first time you get to be the full you, and you're totally accepted and. Seems like a lot of fun.
It's to be completely who I am. I mean, I don't go full bore character when I'm there. I do dick with the new people quite hard. And actually, I just kind of dick with everybody there. If anybody are listening, it's only going to get worse.
Yep, social terrorism.
But it is. I can be completely who I am, and I talk to Emily sometimes. I'm like, I feel so sorry for some of these younger kids that are gonna.
Welcome to the Miah-drome.
No, I mean when they leave there, they're gonna go out and they're gonna have to get a job, and they won't be able to have fun, or they won't be able to color their hair. They won't be able to be themselves, and they'll have to resign themselves to either making more money in the industry they want to really be in, or being themselves. And I think that's a horrible, horrible thing. And it's something I've always kind of fought anyways. But now being where I'm at and with what Art and Colleen and I all have planned for the future in us, as far as where we want to go with everything, is that I can do this and make a career living out of this, at least for about 5 years until I saved up enough money to go to Thailand, unless I win the lottery, and then I'm going to Thailand.
Yeah, I think at some point, if you just stick with doing something that you like for a living long enough, even if you don't get paid a lot in the beginning, like I have literally gone from dream job to dream job to dream job, and I've never been paid anything. And
it's about to pay off.
Eventually, money will start to flow in. It's going to eventually it's like the best jobs, the jobs you want to be in, the way that they weed you out fastest is no pay at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you just got to stick it out and find ways and work extra jobs. And
well, I think it's that hard work and that low pay is your college.
Yep.
Instead of college is kind of like a cheat thing. Is how it's seen today. Is that if you go to college, spend a bunch of money, work semi-hard for 4 years, and get a piece of paper, you get to have a really nice job on the other side. Versus you could spend that year everyone takes a break from after high school, and then the next 4 years working your ass off, making not a whole lot of money. you're going to turn it into something. It might take longer, it might not, but the payoff is usually much greater. But you get to enjoy yourself the entire time and have fun, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Even though I just the 14 grand or so I had wrapped up my company is gone and will never come back, and that's a kind of embarrassing to go, yeah, I started this company that I knew absolutely nothing about in the industry, and I was only supposed to be an investor, and they got involved and then stepped out and it failed. But it was a good learning experience, and it was fun while it lasted, and I got a bike out of it, and yeah.
I mean, personally, and you may identify with this too, like I just remember being 23, living in my mom's basement, miserable, absolutely miserable. Just like if I got hit by a bus, nobody except maybe my mom would really care. Like,
Yeah.
And now, just a few short years later, I have, I don't have money to fix the flat tire that I got today, but at least I'm, happy, and
Yeah.
it paid off and things are good. So just got to make choices and stick with it. And you've made choices that, with boldness, with courage, and look what happened. Look at the difference between now and a year ago.
Oh yeah, it's it's just sticking with something. It's been, a lot of trans people, they're a life full of inconsistency because they're constantly changing or reinventing themselves, and just nothing ever really works out all that well. Our own worst enemies and self-destructive and everything else, but everything changes and it takes time. I mean, I'm nowhere near done. And not, like I said, not that I could ever be done, but just constant improvement, and it's the constant, the consistency and rising and the amount of improvement is just, it's nice.
So, given all of that, what was the point of all of the fear all of those years?
Not a goddamn thing. There was no valid reason to be afraid. It's I've always been somebody that's always, I was taught from a very young age to stand up for myself and fight back when challenged, or someone attacks you, you fight back and you kill the bastard. Dead men can't testify. Just a very strong-headed approach to life, and sadly that was never applied to me in this issue. And I when we had my parents on here and the talks I've had with them, there was no valid reason for me not to come out about this a lot sooner. A rational fear. I know there's some people that have not such good home lives, or they're afraid of losing their job and everything else. And I mean, my advice is, who gives a shit?
I think the bottom line is the fears that I had for you a year ago, that most people in your life had for you a year ago. You go, well, that's fine, but you're not going to. What about finding a job? It's going to make it harder. What about doing this? What about doing that? And a year later, none of those questions even matter. Like, it's
not at all.
There's really no reason to be concerned at all.
No.
About anything.
And I've gotten better opportunities out of this because I am who I am, and I'm happy. I'm a much better person, and it has opened more doors for me than not. So staying hidden and depressed and not happy and hiding, you're limiting your chances in life, I think. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to be broadly brushed on everybody's situation. I mean, some people, they might be on the edge of, not be able to find a job. You live in a smaller town or something. Maybe you have to live at you're young and you have to live at your parents' house, and they'd kick you out if you came out. I understand situations like that. It's extremely difficult.
But what do you say to that person? Just live a false truth?
Do what you can, and do what you can to find out what the hardships would be from coming out and living your life.
And then I would say
better plan.
I would say fix it. Build a plan. I don't think you should say live in fear, but I think you had to be at a certain point where you could mentally and emotionally handle, and physically, at 26 it's not really a question at that point, but you had to be at a place where you could handle that initial few months. Now it seems like a no-brainer, but it was a really scary time a year ago.
Yeah, it was. I mean, But I think back, and I honestly do, to a degree, think that I wasted the first 25 years of my life.
So to that person that has those difficult choices, wouldn't it be, start planning and live your life the way that you think you ought to live your life?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, depending on the situation. Even if there's really a rough spot, a rough chance of it being just really shitty and bad, is that take the chance, because living a lie and being on the verge of suicide just didn't fucking worth it. Sometimes you got to take that leap of faith and just believe in yourself and know that you can make it all right on the other side. That isn't always going to work out. That's not always the best advice, but sometimes it's just what you got to fucking do. Is that living where you're at in an unhappy, unsafe environment just isn't worth it.
Quit being
And
to quote you from episode 63, quit being a pansy.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's there are rational fears out there. Some people are, like I said, if you live in a smaller town, what the hell are you going to do? Where are you going to go? But make a plan and then execute the plan. As long as that plan never has to deal with, self-harm and suicide, you're good to go. Try it.
All right, well, any final words for those listening? I think that's a good place to leave it, but...
Well, one more question that came in. Why the last episode? Again, we kind of addressed that in the beginning, but I want to say more on it, is that I just I want to branch out to more. I don't want to focus... I've fallen out with the community a lot harder than maybe I just didn't fit in. And... I just don't necessarily want to be a part of it anymore. Not like specifically a part of it.
Can I say what I think it is? I think you don't want that to be your identity. I think there are some people who a community, their libertarianness, their transition, their Freemasonry. Like, that defines who they are, and you're the type of person that doesn't want to be defined by one simple label. And part of why you don't want to do this show anymore is that you've said just about everything you can say to the people that have questions. We've answered the same questions every show for a year, and there's no more left to say about it. Now you just want to be you and not have to worry about fitting into a label.
Yeah, and that's really a big part of it, is that I can't apply all of myself to the trans stick anymore. I've done what I can with it, and that's that. I want to move on to more things. I'm never not going to identify as trans, though, or some variation of that idea. For a while I was pissed off. I was just saying gender variant, because I know some people really hate that.
You're telling me that you joined a community and then started to socially terrorize them.
Yes, I did.
I don't understand that at all.
No. It's just that I know some people have come to me and said, I'm done with the trans label. I'm a woman or I'm a man now, and I'm like, well, good for you. That's their decision. However, that's another binary I'm not going to buy into, and I will never stop identifying as gender checked other. It's what I feels right, and I don't necessarily want to be what society defines as a woman or what society defines as a man, and I'll just be me, and that's everyone else go fuck themselves. So. And that's basically all there is to it.
I think that's what we're going to put on your tombstone. So,
well, you know what? Just make sure it's not on a SpongeBob, or they'll take it down.
All right. Any final words for the audience?
This might be the end of creating my podcast, but this is not the end of me, especially not on the whole giving advice and talking to people in a very calm, cool, and collected fashion. I have plans on doing other things. I don't know. I've talked to a couple people about being co-hosts. I've got some great plans and some great guests and some awesome ideas. But like I said, I'm never running away from the whole trans thing. So even with the new show and even with the Uncontrollables, You call in with a question, I'm going to answer the question. And people can always find me on Facebook. Everything else, I'm not done. I just with this podcast.
So don't delete this feed, please, because what we'll do is the first episode of the next project we'll put into this feed, so you get a taste of it, and then tell you where you can get that feed. So don't delete just yet, so you can stay tuned to the next project.
And who knows, I might just have some crazy whim up my ass and want to sit down and record an extra episode. I might give a bi-monthly update, and who knows? I have a habit of going back on things.
All right. Well, this has been episode 12 of Creating Miah.
Or
Episode
13, something like that.
13, lucky number 13. So it's been a long, strange trip, and I think it's been fun and entertaining, and I know that the process of sitting down for 13 hours to discuss this has really helped me understand, and I hope everybody who's listened, they have a better understanding of a lot of different things. So I appreciate you putting yourself out there and doing something that is uncomfortable for you, which is talking about the emotions and the feelings that surround this for the greater cause of bringing understanding to people who may have questions but don't want to say it to your face. So,
Well, yeah.
So I appreciate it, and it's been fantastic. So thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to Creating Miah. Stay tuned for what's next for Miah, and find all our other podcasts at wal-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Creating Miah.